Hello, and welcome to my perhaps the last in this season RTSL game versus Guangheng Wu, also known as Harry WGH, and it will be a 45 per player minutes per player game, but I will be leading USSR. And that's a pretty decent hand, I guess. It has some problems, but they are manageable. Yeah. A little bit too many obligations. So, Duck and Cover and Vietnam and Defectors could grant me Thailand 100%. The problem is that I have Middle East and Europe to drop, and they are both bad scorings, especially to combine with Vietnam revolts. And socialists are good to fight for Europe, but I don't really have any cards to fight for Europe because I only have Vietnam revolts. Yeah. So I guess I will go for Vietnam revolts and Taku of Iran anyway, and I will hope for him to not fill in France before I drop Europe. Let's do it. Captured Nazi scientists are decent for him, but not particularly scary. That's cool, that's terrible. But at least I get Vietnam. Okay, so now situation is really scary because so there's like I would say 85% for him to get a Middle East domination this turn. I don't think I have resources to stop that. Mm, whoa, whoa. Interesting. All right. Let's just grab some space here. Okay, so this is a really strong play for Asia. Entering Korea suggests that he either is convinced that I have Asia scoring or he has it in himself. Mm, I I could believe that he has Asia scoring actually. Uh, that seems reasonable. Because, like, of course, Vietnam plus duck and cover coup in Iran is a really, really strong Asia play by me, but it's kind of not suspicious. This is just a thing you want to do anyway. So I think he may have Asia scoring in his hand. Yeah, without Korean War, there's no way for me to um, match the battleground count. I have I don't have South Korean War. I mean Korean War. I don't have Indo-Pakistani War either. So I'm kind of toothless here. The good thing is that when he focuses on Asia, he doesn't focus on Europe and the Middle East, and of course I have to drop both of them. Another 4 up, sure. Yeah. So that's kind of bad. I will give him Truman now to enter Burma as a response of him entering India, to not let him get both India and Burma if he has another 4 up, because due to my lack of options when it comes to getting India, Pakistan, or Korea, or South Korea, I will have to match him in the in the country count in Asia. So Burma is kind of important in this regard. Alright, and now it's probably time to drop Europe. It goes to space. Okay, so let's just do that. Of course, in general, entering Lebanon when the DEFCON is at 3 is questionable, but in this case, I do not mind letting him coup Lebanon, because if he does that, that means I can drop Middle East for free, and that's not as obvious as it could be that I would be able to do that. And of course, if he doesn't coup Lebanon, then taking it means that he can't use A3 to go for Egypt and Lebanon and get the domination that way. So this kind of ensures that I don't get dominated there, unless he like plays A4 to Egypt and Jordan or something like that. Are you serious? Okay, that's kind of not funny. Yeah, so if he headlines Asia scoring, I have absolutely nothing to do against. I mean, there's nothing I can do with that. So I guess I will just go for French headline and, well, hope to cause him some problems. Defcon is at 4, so theoretically I could coup Pakistan. The problem is, of course, that I didn't get in the Pakistani war, so if I coup Pakistan and even succeed, and then he flips it again within the Pakistani war, then I'm screwed. Well, perhaps I should try anyway. He has 8 cards in his hand. He used, yeah, he drew all of them, so there's like around 50% that he has in the Pakistani war, whereas 50% that he wins it in Pakistan without me having anything adjacent to it. So it's like 25% for that scenario. So yeah, of course. So now I'm not even sure if there's a point. He already scored Asia, so Pakistan is not as important. I think I want to try going for Iran first before Panama, because if I coup Panama, then he just counter coups, and I don't really get anything from that. Of course, if I succeed in Iran, he can counter coup Iran. So maybe it's not that much different. Or maybe I just go for martial coup in Pakistan, and that way, in yeah, this way he doesn't have any counter coup anyway. Okay, so I get that. It's too little, too late, and it still kind of asks the question of the Pakistani war. So well, let's see if he has it. It's not like he's going to. I mean, well, theoretically he could be scared about. He could be scared of losing Panama, so he could try lowering DEFCON before he does that, but I don't think he would. I think if he has in the Pakistani war, he wants to play it right now, and I think he will if he has it. Fidel. Sure. So he probably coups Iraq now. Yeah, so this is obviously the play to. Okay, I think I have to do that. It's kind of obligatory. This fiddle play with Queen Iraq, of course, intends to trap me if I have a CIA card in my hand. So, yeah. I will start with going to Afghanistan with independent Reds, also to get rid of that card from my hand, so Romanian application is now stable. And then I'm going to break France with the goal, threaten taking Algeria and open up France, because Truman is already gone from the game, so now ops wars are in Europe are not that scary to me. Alright. Okay, that makes sense. Putting one influence into Egypt really strongly suggests that he has Nasser. Because, well, that play with putting one into Egypt would be really countered by me playing Nasser, so this suggests that he's not really scared of that play, which means that he probably has Nasser. The question of the day is, does he also have decolonization or destalinization? Especially decol. If he has decol, then he's going to give me that Nasser anyway. If he has destal, he can always just like space destal, I guess. Yeah, of course Algeria is up for grabs now, but I don't want to let him have France for free, especially while he's under purge, so I feel like I can get something out of her. So I'm going for it, and yeah, comical. Okay, so we're just fighting for France. He has better ops, but he's under purge, so he can't really just end this fight here and now. Another point to consider is that right now. Oh, so he had it, true. Okay, he failed. Another thing to consider right now is that um, while I'm not in Algeria, uh, I I don't really have any influence in countries with two stability that he could go while DEFCON isn't free. So by not entering Algeria, I'm mm, denying him decent coup targets. So that's why I don't feel bad about just taking France and leaving Algeria empty. Okay, so that was a relatively alright turn for me. Okay. Honestly, I think this is the time when I can capitalize on me not going to Algeria. Kind of. Or can I? The question is, can I afford to just headline Romanian abdication and score Europe right away? And perhaps I just can't do it. Maybe I should just do it. I don't know of any good headlines on his side, so I can't really read into his hand too much. I know of Formosan, Nasser, Distal, and Suez, and those are not particularly good headlines for USA. So I'll just go for Romania and score Europe for 5, I guess. I could also just like go for Romanian and coup Zaire and hope that he doesn't equalize in Europe immediately. Maybe that's what I should do actually. Maybe I should. Yeah, it doesn't sound bad when I think about it. Okay, that suggests lack of good headlines. Maybe I will just ignore Europe and I will just go for Zaire with CIA. Okay. Uh, and well, now the question is what. Okay, so now the question is what does he do with Europe? Because he doesn't know I have it. And Algeria is open, and Angola is threatened by my takeover. So he has to choose something. And I don't know of any good cards he may have to play for ops, especially not for ops, for example. So, like taking Greece and Algeria or Spain and Algeria is something that he may be able to do, but he's probably not. And also, it's kind of annoying for the USA to just go with pure ops and take European non-battlegrounds while Marshall has still not been played as an event, of course. So I think there's just a good chance he will allow me to score Europe for 5. Of fucking course he got NATO. So now he can take. Oh, so okay, so this is what I was referring to. He could now use NATO to take Algeria and Spain, but he didn't. So I will just score Europe. That's good. I suspect he will just try spacing 2 times this turn. Sounds like a reasonable thing to do with Distal and Suez and perhaps something more. Hmm. But UN intervention really saved my day. Drawing it, drawing it 2 times. Once to get rid of Marshall, I mean to play it for 4 ops, and second time to get rid of CIA. That really helped. Um, yeah, I'm going to play Tickle at some point anyway, so I can just play it now and be annoying with it. It doesn't. I mean, well, it just forces him to spend some ops and gives me Nigeria, which is of some relevance. I will probably play special relationship for ops and let him resolve the event. However, he still has Suez Crisis in his hand, so if he decides to give me the Suez Crisis, I will gladly just break his control of UK and then play special for free. So I'm going to wait with it at least a turn more. Sure, buddy. I guess. Maybe I just overprotect everything. Oh, so he got that too, alright. Unfortunately, he hits the space truck as well. I guess I want to get another country in the Middle East at some point, because if I don't take Syria, he can just kick me out of the Middle East. I mean, deprive me of presence there by breaking Iraq. Yeah, he waited me out. Good for him. Now I will enter South Africa if he doesn't take it, but he probably will. Yep. So I have 5-year plan left. And that doesn't give me anything, so I guess I will just grab Saudi. And I suspect he will just space distal now. In theory he could give me Nasser, but there's no point to really. Unless he like is really scared of getting Korean War and not being able to space it. Or he wants to play Nasser anyway to prepare for Sadat, but I don't think that's a good play. I think he should space distal now. And I think he will. Ah, gives me Nasser. Oh, maybe he doesn't want to discard distal, so I can't pick it up with salt negotiations if I draw them. I guess that could theoretically be the reason. But I don't think it's worth it because, well, now Middle East scoring is just good for me. So I think that was a mistake. Okay, what do we get? Okay, that's a really solid hand. That's a really solid hand. Hmm. I'm not sure what to do with this hand. I'm not sure what I'm trying to achieve. Okay, so let's think. Those are the blue cards. I'm not headlining them. Those are the scorings. They don't give me much. Middle East I'm not headlining for sure because I want to dominate it before I drop it. One small step just doesn't give me anything for now. I will use it to stop his second space attempt if I will be able to spare some ups. So there's Brezhnev, which is pretty useless due to the fact that my hand has nearly no cards that benefit from Brezhnev. Missile Envy, which is questionable and risky, and maybe I will use it later and maybe not. And Red Scare Perch, which seems to be the only reasonable headline, so I'll go for it. Sure, ADM. That's interesting. What he will do? Thailand? I think it has to be Thailand. Oh, theoretically it could be Nigeria or Zaire if he wants to. I guess it's Thailand. Okay, and he, well, kind of succeeded. Theoretically, I could now just go for Angola. The dream scenario would be to go for Missile Envy event, get a blue card, and coup Angola with it, and then he's stuck with Missile Envy. He has to like put one influence into Thailand, and then I grab Thailand and I get like everything, which is a wet dream, not really a realistic option. Well, but how bad can things get if I just go for Missile Envy event? Not very bad, right? Because if I give him Missile Envy now while he's perched, he doesn't get Thailand ever. He's never going to get Thailand after this play. In the worst case scenario, he will be able to coup Nigeria with a 1-up, which is Missile Envy for him. So I think I will go for it. And while DevCon is at 3, it's probably the only reasonable time when I can play Missile V4 event without risking getting Wheelbarrow and losing the game on DevCon. So perhaps it's just the best play. And if I happen to like hit a blue 3 up, for example, that would be so huge. It would be insane. Yeah, I think it's correct. I think it's correct. The worst case scenario is probably getting nuclear test ban and being realigned from France. But well, and also he would have to use missile line before that, so he could try only once. So maybe that's not even that bad of a scenario. Actually, if I get Wheelbarrow now, it's really good for me as well. Uh, Maybe not that good, but it's pretty decent. It's not really bad. Because if I get Wheelbarrow, I will get 3 points, which is alright, and then I will be able to uh, take back Thailand without letting him coup Nigeria, which is like a win-win. Yay! Okay, so that's decent. He's going to enter Thailand probably, or Nicaragua or Panama, but probably Thailand. Yeah, and now I have to just retake it. So I'm afraid I'm going to give him Marshall, which long term sucks, but it's kind of what I have to do. Unless I want to go for China, but do I want to go for China to not give him Marshall? I really want to hold Brezhnev. I'm spacing voice. Theoretically, I could. I don't really need, in the strictest sense, to hold Marshall, to play China, to hold another card. But I think it's advisable. And we've seen no China related cards yet, so maybe China is just a good play here. And I'm already overprotected everywhere in Asia, so it's not a huge deal. Interesting. Do I even care about Europe now? The score suggests that I have to play long term. In the long term, I don't really want to give up Marshall now to let him equalize Europe. Maybe I don't care. I don't see how I'm ever resolving this question. So the thing is that, well, I don't know. I'm not even sure if I would play this Marshall plan to grab 2 non-battlegrounds later on during the turn, or space it while I have many better cards to space. I don't want to be stuck with it in my hand when I'm planning to headline Brezhnev next turn. It's just an annoying event that I can like accept that is happening, and I can use the juicy 4-ops it grants me to get Thailand back and threaten Middle East domination and see if he has any responses to that. I hope he doesn't have Sada, that would be tragic, but other than that is fine. Wait, really? Jesus Christ, okay. It seems that his hand is really weak, and it probably contains at least one good African USSR event related to Angola, because under perjury you nearly never want to do that. So either it's a silly mistake on his part, which I doubt, or he's really desperate to overprotect Africa because Angola, because he knows he will be playing Portuguese Empire crumbles or South African unrest. Yep. And he overprotects it once more. That makes sense. I have to drop South America scoring. There's no way around it, so let's just drop it now. I have to get Milops as well. That's another problem. I will probably use Camp David Accords to coup something. I guess it. It will have to be Costa Rica. Whoa, it looks like he has both African events. And he actually had nuclear test ban as well, so he was uh, considering whether to give me nuclear test ban or will dare you. That's why he was thinking so long. Okay, let's get rid of this crap card. I don't want to see it again. Yep. I probably want to go for Angola 2 times. He's probably going to overprotect it anyway. Okay, so Perch really helped me this turn. It was really convenient to force him to uh, play around those inconvenient red 2-ups. Okay, can David Accords, of course, to get the ups. Middle ups, I mean, of course. And it even worked. It took him out of Costa Rica, which is not very important, but it, for example, denies him the ability to enter Nicaragua to threaten Cuba, which is something. And that's a reasonable event. There are some really good cards that I hope he doesn't get rid of. Liberation, Korean War, Lone Gunman, Quagmire, Muslim Revolution, pretty good. Especially because it takes him out of Iran without any possibility of him just going back there. Unlucky, unlucky. Really? Okay, I think I called all of those. It could have been Lone Gunman and Liberation Theology as well, but fortunately there were not. At this point, I guess I could just go for Botswana. Of course, Egypt and Israel are worth considering, but Middle East is scored and Africa is not. So I guess that's a good enough reason to go to Botswana, because I really want to coup Angola now, and after I coup Angola, having Botswana will be a really convenient threat against South Africa. Okay, That's a terrible hand, but Brezhnev makes it like 2 tiers better. So without further ado, I will just headline it because there's probably no way that anything is better than Brezhnev here. It also gives me the ability to space OAS, which is potentially really important because South America stands empty and OAS would grant my opponent a huge advantage. Of course, he could have Junta, he could have Panama Canal, he could have puppet governments, so there are tons of good cards that could give him the access there, but well, that is not something I can do anything about. So I will not worry about it now. What is the battleground count? -1, 0, 0. -1. It's -1. So if I Guangola with kitchen debates and not roll a 1, oh okay, so I will not be rolling anything in Angola. I understand. But if I do something like that, this event doesn't work. Anyway, sure. Uh, yeah, let's get rid of it immediately. I don't want to think about it later. Okay, so arms race will be surely played for ops. Yeah, I guess. Africa scoring will have to be dropped. The question is, do I do it immediately or do I do it after I sold something? Because I will most likely use salt for event and take out something with it. Yeah, chase nothing. There's a good chance he will grant himself African domination immediately right now, and I will have to respond to it somehow. It's not really obvious to me how I do that yet. Probably Distal is my best choice when it comes to salt. There are many cards I would like to have, but I think Distal is just the best. Even I think it's even better than ABM. Like ABM is so good too here. It basically flips one African battleground. Maybe I should go for ABM because I have Africa in my hand. It may depend on what he does. Hmm. Okay, that's really passive. I like that. I will take out the ABM, I think. Because now it seems that the tempo lets him coup one time and lets me coup one time. He will coup Nigeria and I will just respond to it. And I would really, really like to have one more coup to, well, make Africa a little bit more red before I score it. It would of course be perfect if he now could Nigeria with a low card and failed, but that's perhaps a little too much to ask for. He coups, and he succeeds spectacularly. Well, that sucks. I have to respond. Fortunately, I succeed as well. Of course, if he takes Taiwan, he gets Asian domination, at least temporarily. But I don't think I have anything to do to stop that. It's probably just his right after he headlined his glorious another one. Yeah, sure, you can have fun in Central. I will probably just queen. Okay, but under Assault it was not as obvious that ABM would be enough to overturn Nigeria, so that's some luck for me there. It's a really important coup because it flips the crucial battleground in Africa. Of course, there's still a case to be made about realigning South Africa for additional points, but I'm running out of turns. I really need to re-enters Nicaragua, right? God damn it. Yeah, that's smart. I think I have to ignore that at this point. I want to space OAS, drop Africa, and probably play Summit. So I have one playable two-op this turn. So if I do anything now, I'm basically forced to play accordingly to my plan till the end of the turn and not respond to anything. So I could also like coup Nicaragua with Summit immediately, but then he can coup Saharan states and I can't really regain African domination. I mean, if I do that, I can't space OAS, which is absolutely a must in my situation. So I think I will just drop Africa and hope that he doesn't realign me completely out of Cuba. If he does, then, well, that sucks. Okay, he tries. He fails. He fails. Okay, that's good. Now I can coup Nicaragua with Summit. And during my last AR, I can space OAS. Oh, he events that. Okay, that's cool. I'm really fine with that. I have nothing against. Okay, that's another turn that was scary at times but went relatively well. So I may be getting back to the game. But Panama Canal was a suspicious play. Okay. Asia scoring is really a bad one. Unless I force him to play the China card somehow. Not sure how. Junta is of course a great headline, always. Unless you're facing defectors. The problem is that, well, normally I would just headline Asia here probably, because that kind of gives me the chance of him playing defectors and defecting Asia scoring. But I'm afraid that if he sees Asia, he may choose something else to headline. So the choice is between cultural and junta. No other way really to go around it. It sounds weird as hell, but I think I may just go for cultural and during AR1 just slam South Korea with China, just put 4 influence there. Because there are literally no forums left in the game. There are none. So it may be hard for him to respond to that. So I think it's a weird play, but I think it has some merit here to headline cultural and use China to just force South Korea outward. I'm I'm really curious how he responds to that, especially knowing that he can't have Nixon and he can't have uh, Yusuri. And with non-battlegrounds being as important as they are in Central America right now, not headlining Junta and playing it later during the turn doesn't seem to be such a bad idea. What do I do if he plays defectors anyway? Bear trap. Alright. At least I don't have a problem with discarding cards. I hope I really need to get out immediately. I really need to get out right now. The question is, do I drop grain sales to get rid of that card, or do I hold it to get rid of it after the reshuffle? Maybe I will try to hold on to them. Oh, come on! Okay, that's really bad that I missed that roll. That was so crucial. Because now he can coup and he can also overprotect South Korea and India. I don't know if he thinks about that though. Maybe he just doesn't do it. Okay, maybe he scores Central and then does something else. Maybe he coups now. Okay, so that was bad, but if he doesn't overprotect India and South Korea, it's not that bad. And now he just coups Nigeria or Angola probably, so maybe it isn't that huge. Oh, he doesn't even do that. He gets rid of Long Ganon. Okay, so there were like 10,000 things he wanted to do and he couldn't just do all of them. Okay, so Brush War is not something I wanted to see. North as well. Oh, okay, North is whatever. Puppet governments are really scary. Nuclear subs are good for him, but very good when played at the start of the turn, so it doesn't matter that much. Willy Brand is whatever. Sure. I probably have to lower the defcon so he doesn't coup Nigeria. Yeah, so let's go for Panama. Mm, sure. So I probably go to Chile and Nicaragua now. Of course, Chile is a bad place to go with Junta, especially as the USSR, but Well, it's the only one that doesn't get brushwork immediately. Puppets are insanely good. Yeah, let's go for that. Or maybe I just go for that. What kind of baits the brush were out? Well, because if I do that, he's able to take Argentina with Brushwood, which is just fine, I guess. But it can fail. I could as well. No, I have to hold the China card, right? So. Yes, Norad. That's tough. I will probably get Allende sooner or later anyway. I think I would just try that and hope that his brush war fails. It's like 1/3 of a chance. It's exactly the same probability of like the probability of me staying in the bear trap, so I guess it is possible to happen. And if he wins, then well, I guess he's not going to fight for Chile with the ops he has. So I will just accept my fate in Argentina and go for South Korea break with China anyway. And yeah, that's all. It's kind of important for me to prevent him from using brush or on Thailand or Pakistan. So I whoa. Okay, to be fair, I didn't even consider that he may just not do it. Uh, okay, I think I have to grab Chile then. I wonder if he did that because he really wanted to brush for Thailand. That's that's interesting. I was so sure that he would just brush for Argentina the second he sees my play, but I didn't even consider that another possibility. Or there is another possibility that he wants to just hold brush war so it doesn't come back before the reshuffle, which is of course in general a reasonable thing to do as the USA in his position while flower power is in play. So maybe that's what he's doing. I wonder what's his response now, because he can't break anything to prevent the draw in Asia. So he has to take the risk and brush for Pakistan or Thailand if he wants to fight for Asian domination. So if he does that, it's a huge role. It's really important. The whole game depends on it. But I'm not even sure if it's better than Argentina. It probably is. It probably is. So I think now he just lets me have it. Okay, that's a really conservative play on his side. Yeah, that's unfortunately that's reasonable. So perhaps it was not optimal for me to use Arab-Israeli war to repair Chile. Maybe I should have let it hang uncontrolled and use China a little bit earlier. Okay, now I don't understand that. So if you don't want to hold the brush, then why? I don't get it. Why? So like okay, I'm confused, but I have to focus on the game because I have little time left. But I don't really understand that play. I was certain that he's just going to hold brushwork because if not, then why didn't you use it earlier? on Argentina while 3 was enough? And why didn't you uh, use it later on Pakistan when Asia was not scored? Yeah. I don't see any way for him to break that. I mean, I see 7 out of 9 cards he has, and none of it really interferes with Southeast Asia scoring except for defectors, which I am fine with, so I will allow it. Uh, this is a really scary hand, so I hope he doesn't lower the defcon in any way during the headline, but I don't see any way for him to do it yet. If he doesn't, for example, he uses defectors to save his 2 points, then I will gladly use stack and cover to retake Poland and South Korea and get 2 dominations there, at least for a time, and, well, save myself the defcon trouble. The 2 cards I redrew were Grain Sales and Voice of America, which is incredibly annoying, but it's not necessarily that bad, because of course that means that he doesn't draw them. So I will live with this burden, I guess. Okay, he decided to use defectors, which was to be expected. He uses Sadat as well, which is annoying but unavoidable, and he managed to do it before my OPEC. Which is a smart thing to do, of course, by my opponent, because now it only grants me 2 VPs. Cool. I need to get Milops somehow, I need to defend Cuba somehow, so I can start by securing the Nicaragua with a smaller card than I would hope to, but I don't have many ops, so I will not dare to use a free op for that purpose. Ask not. Allende, Liberation. Oh no, I have Allende. I'm sorry. Okay. Unfortunately, he got Europe, and he discarded it with Kennedy. But it's not that tragic for me, I guess. Not really. Okay, let's get rid of Nixon. I'll have to do it anyway. The reason why that is not as bad as it could be with Europe scoring is that after I gave him that Marshall during the Thailand crisis, let's say, yeah, sure, bro. I'll get back to this thought in a second. Okay, let's grant myself some alternative Nigeria access. The thing with Europe scoring is that after I gave him that Marshall Plan, Europe is easily drawable by USA anyway, so it's not like it's my stable and avoidable domination. I'm really glad he rolled that 1 there, because that's a third NATO he's playing. Alright. And sure, I will space grain sales now. and Cha. Kuz, Nigeria. Alright. There's no point in taking Angola while he can just quit during his last AR, so I will just grab South Africa. It could be reasonable to play OP for event for 2 weeks as well, but well, I don't think it's worth it. In the Pakistan war for the third time, again he's not making use of it, and he rolls a6, which is annoying. Alright, South Korean, Korean War is not as important right now. War games has basically no way to be useful for me as an event. CIA is absolutely tragic. It's so bad. I really need to Kuzair. Do I try to hold the CIA? That's abysmal. Quagmire is a good headline, but it doesn't give me anything in terms of saving me from CIA. I guess I have to Kuzair. I have to Kuzair. I'm going for Quagmire, and I think I try to hold the CIA. It's just so important to do that. I can't imagine letting him get away with all the Africa he managed to steal from me during last turn. So let's grab Zaire and then realign Angola. Okay, he doesn't get out yet. Yeah. Let's realign Angola right away, I guess. Or I could use this opportunity to give him VOAS, because my Angola realignment perspective is... It seems to be a pretty stable situation there, and OAS is a card I can't really respond to well, so it may be worth to just drop OAS immediately, let him resolve it, and be sure that I have another turn to deal with the consequences of that event. Warsaw Pact, sure. I would gladly take that Warsaw Pact influence, but that's not the end of the war. I'm glad he was forced to discard it. That probably means that he has a strong hand otherwise, if Warsaw Pact was a card that he decided to discard. Unless he's just full of, like, one-ups. Okay, so now I probably want to crack Korea. I mean Angola with Korea. Cool. Terrorism is still an option. Well, Asia scoring and Africa scoring are still possible to be in his hand, so that's terrible. He doesn't have decal or anything like that. Maybe it's just not worth trying the terrorism card. Maybe it's just unnecessarily risky. And I have to cool that back, so I guess I will use terrorism for that purpose. Oh my god, okay, that's really bad. I hope he doesn't realign me with Central America now. I mean, from Cuba, but that would basically be the same thing. That's just too many 4-ups. Fortunately, he doesn't even have a good secondary target, so it is kind of a wasted one. Yeah, let's space that. Let's fail again. Alright, he gets rid of that. Well, okay, that's weird. I don't understand why he didn't discard the style before Warsaw Pact, but it's okay. I think I will just make sure that South America is safe. Or maybe I will do it that way. Or maybe I will do it that way. That secures Angola and both of South American countries, and it kind of puts a pressure on Algeria, and maybe even more importantly, it means that even if he puts me out. Oh no, even okay, I forgot I had Botswana, so I wanted to have a second African non-battleground, but I guess I had Botswana anyway. And yeah, but oh, I wasn't paying attention enough. I should have, of course, I should have overprotected South Korea, for example, instead of going to Saharan state. That was clearly just my mistake. That's so silly. Now I get another unplayable hand. Ah, God damn it. Okay, let's go for Reformer as it's the only playable in the event in my hand. And it's not even that bad, I guess. It's not that good either, but it activates Glasnost, so that's something to take into consideration. I suspect that if he has Asia scoring, he's going to use it now. Colonials, sure. This looks like I'm going to give him Alliance for Progress, whether I want it or not. He probably enters Thailand. I give him the CIA and repair South Korea with it because he could with the CIA, and then he uses the China card on Thailand, and Asia is drawn. That's how I see it. Let's see. It kind of depends on what he rolls with a CIA coup of Zaire, probably. But if he succeeds, I think I'm just taking South Korea, and then he's just taking Thailand from with the China card. That's the scenario I think is the most probable. Okay, he failed, that's good. However, I think I'm still going to lose Thailand now. He's just going to grab it. Yep. Yeah. At least that costs him the Formosan resolution, which is surprisingly significant. There is no way to avoid giving him Alliance for Progress, I don't think so. Alright, let's see how he reacts to that. Of course, taking Uruguay is worthwhile itself sooner or later, but the additional thing I get from it is ability to play Alliance for Progress to break Brazil, which he allows. So I will just use that opportunity to give him only the 3 VPs. I can use this opportunity to realign Algeria, which I think is a reasonable thing to do, but perhaps I should start with Haiti, because I have to get Milops somehow. Unfortunately, that doesn't grant me anything, because I rolled a 1. However, getting access to Cuba could be potentially huge. Okay, that's nice, but not really significant. Yeah, that makes sense. It's space now. You too. Okay, there's nothing I can do about Central, so I think I can just as well focus on Algeria. Well, that didn't help. Yeah, I don't really see the way to win this game at this point. I guess I could throw Brush War and I don't even know. Europe control is probably out of my reach. Maybe if I throw South American scoring and manage to flip it onto my control, but okay, so after that there's probably nothing I can do literally. It's probably just over. It's a great hand, but it's just not good enough. And do I go for aims? Gunman is gone and Ortega is gone, so I'm not going to get him with Defcon. Okay, let's just go for aims and see what I see. I can't imagine what I would have to get to win this game, but... Oh, so it doesn't matter. Okay. GG. Oh, so I guess that's how my RTSL season ends. I think it's it's fair to say that it ends the exact manner it has been going for a long time. And well, congratulations to my opponent, and thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this game, and I will see you next time.